Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank all of you for being here. And I share your passion for nuclear energy. It's extremely important. I'm very proud of my home state of Georgia and what we've done. And we've been the #1 state to do business in for the past 11 years. And one of the primary reasons for that is because we have available, reliable, affordable energy. And that's something we're very proud of. My colleague here on this committee, Mr. Allen, in his district, we have 2 nuclear reactors that have just been, one's in service now, and the other should be coming up very shortly, the first in 30 years that we've had this in our country, and we're very proud of that. And in fact, in my district, Mr. Allen was kind enough to, during redistricting, let me have the oldest nuclear reactor Plant Hatch in Georgia, that's been since it's been providing electricity since 1975 and has been licensed to go into the 2030s. So we're very proud of that as well. All that said, spent fuel has kind of been the stigma that's hung over nuclear energy for many years, and that's unfortunate, and it's very unfortunate that we haven't been able to come up with a better solution than we have. And quite often when people are talking about it, they want to talk about the spent fuel and say that's, what are you going to do about that? And I think that I've always said that the greatest innovators, the greatest scientists are right here in the United States, and I'm confident we can do this. I'm confident we can do a better job in making sure that we are addressing this situation with spent fuel. And so I think it's kind of unfair that we get that. I've been to Plant Vogtle, and I've been by the cask, and I'm doing fine. I'm not glowing at all. I don't think. My grandchildren think I glow sometimes, but anyway, that's another story. Let me ask you, and I'll just ask all of you this: how many commercial private spent fuel storage projects are in the process of being developed that you know of here in the United States? We can start with you, Mr. White. Go down the line.
I'm not familiar with how many. There have been several that have been initiated, none successful so far.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't have any knowledge on that.
We've had about 5 that we've tried, okay, and all of them failed.
Why?
Basically because of host state acceptance.
Because of?
Host state acceptance. We had a licensed one at private fuel storage in Utah. The state said no. We tried to propose one in the 80s in Tennessee. The senator said no. There's one in New Mexico today, and Texas, that they were licensed, but they were by objections from the state of New Mexico and Texas. They are basically stopped, just like Yucca Mountain is stopped. So
not in my backyard.
We don't. Yes, sir.
Huh? You want to take a shot at it? Anything?
Well, I think we need to, if we had a credible long-term disposal system, it would certainly have assisted in the siting of those interim storage facilities.
Right.
But when the country has no functional system, the host state says, why should I accept this when I'm going to get stuck with it forever?
Well, let me ask you this. How many of the nuclear plants that are in operation now have their own dry cask storage operations up and running?
Everyone except the Harris plant in North Carolina, because it was built to be 4 reactors and they didn't build 4, so they had very large pools. All of the others do, including the shutdown plants.
And you're confident that the casks work and that there's no problems with those?
Yes, sir. Those casks are very robust and well-guarded, well-designed, controlled, reviewed by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. I have very high confidence in their safety, but that's not the long-term solution.
Right. Well, let me ask all of you again a question. Why would the Department of Energy want to pursue another interim storage facility given the potential availability of private options and the difficulties in sitting and licensing those facilities and questionable demand for them rather than focusing on a permanent solution? Why wouldn't we want to focus on a permanent solution? Mr. Stetson?
Absolutely. It all comes down to time. The amount of time that it would take to go through all the licensing and processing for a permanent storage goes on for many decades, and you could have an interim storage set up much, much faster in really just a few years. So it's really for the benefit of the local communities that are hosting it, and they really want it out of there.
Anything?
Well, we haven't been very successful with it so far, and until we have an integrated, workable, entire national system, I don't think we're going to find a state that's going to accept interim storage that's going to relieve the problems that many of our shutdown sites have.
But that's a shame, because I think we're really missing the boat on this. Mr. Chairman, thank you for allowing me to wave on. This is extremely important, and I appreciate it, and I yield back.
Thank the gentleman for being here.